Welcome to ABC Bullion's 360 Weekly Wrap. My name is Crystal Thivios and I'm joined once again by our resident precious metals expert, Global General Manager at ABC Bullion, Nick Frappell.
Hey Crystal.
Hi Nick, how are you going?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. Gold, it's looking like keeps hitting the US dollar 1760 mark, but it almost feels like we're trapped there. Is there a way to get through, or what else is happening?
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's been since the price broke down through that, what was initially a support level at the end of Feb, we've rallied and kind of either hit that level or come very close to hitting it 3 times now. I suspect the 4th time, we'll break through and then some. But yeah, I mean, what's been going on the last week or so, and bearing in mind I was away last week for the Easter break, we've had a slightly weakening US dollar, and we've had a slight decline in US dollar yields, or US bond yields. So that's basically been good for gold. But the really big picture is that, that whole 1670 level, that band of support, which it retested just before Easter, it held there. So this is a recovery from that. It's been aided by the dollar, it's been aided by bond yields. It's definitely hitting some resistance, and it's kind of a little early to say. I think gold can extend further than that, but it's been it's been a recovery from a really, really strong support level. It's going to take some time to unfold from that.
The last few weeks we've been talking about the dollar index quite a bit. Why is the strong rally with the dollar suddenly showing weakness?
I think it's because there's a new narrative that may be emerging with the dollar index, and that is that the US economy is looking so strong in its recovery and its expected recovery that actually that could have the effect of bringing in more, sucking in more imports into the US, and that would be good for other currencies. And so I think people are saying, well, hang on, if growth is as good as we expect, that actually might contain the seeds of some dollar negativity. The other thing is that we expected this rally from the lows of this year to challenge the trend line, support line that sort of moved up from the last decade. It's done that. It's slightly overshot, but it could still be that interaction with that former trend line is what's causing the dollar to struggle a little bit. If you look at things on like the DXY on a cycle basis, which quite a few people do, then actually the turnaround this year kind of fits quite well with a 20-month cycle and a 38-month cycle. So if you look at it in those terms, really macro terms, what's happened in the last week in terms of DXY weakness, it's just noise.
Okay. Awesome. What is the current gold positioning showing us in terms of the gold price?
If we look at ETFs have had a slight inflow, nothing of real note, but the point is that steady bleed out of ETFs certainly appears to have stopped in the last week or so. If you look at the COMEX futures, 855,000 ounces added up until last Tuesday, last reporting point, 1.485 million ounces of buying from shorts. That's pretty encouraging. Obviously, that's quite a powerful amount of buying in total. I think that's the biggest round of short covering since September of last year. The really key message from that is that I think that the shorts looked at the gold price and thought, yeah, it's probably not going to go much further than this. So I'm sure that they took some money off the table in as much as those shorts had been increasing at higher levels. So message is, I think, that managed money longs have some confidence to add to their positions. Managed money shorts are voting for higher just by covering.
Nice. And moving on to silver, how has it performed the last week?
Well, just before I took that break, the close of the sort of Good Friday, the weekend in Good Friday, silver made that low where it touched the top of the weekly Ichimoku cloud, and then it made a really, really fantastic close. It closed almost at the top of the week, and then it's sort of more or less moved higher since then. That's a really, really nice sort of technical signal. It's kind of rejected those lows, and I think above 24 or that low was about 10 cents below where we thought there'd be sort of key support, 23.90. It was 23.78 or something in the end. I think above 23.80 and certainly 24, I think we should look at silver going back to 26, 27. Not like a huge call or anything. what we're seeing, if you look at the charting, the gold-silver ratio, is it looks as though gold's going to outperform on balance, maybe go back to 74, 75. Nothing really major, but just a degree of outperformance. But yeah, positive about silver. On balance, perhaps more positive about gold at the moment.
Nice. And finally, how is the Aussie dollar performing?
Aussies looks a little bit sort of in a narrow band at the moment. Not sort of, people are sitting on their hands a little bit because there's some important Aussie data coming out this week. I think tomorrow we've got unemployment numbers. I think they're expected to come in at 5.7%. So that's a big number. I think people are waiting on that. Still kind of in a downward phase, support at 75, but still somewhat weakening. It's kind of lost that, lost a little bit of upward. Yeah, the upward pressure. It's kind of, lacking a bit of that. Don't really see big things either side. One thing that I did see, which is on our longer term charts, there's now an active target down to 72. But I mean, that might be something sort of unfolds later in the year. It's certainly not something I'm looking at any time in the next sort of week or two, but it just shows you a couple of, after many upside targets, a much more, sort of a bit more significant downside target. And I think partly that's coming because the Aussie yields sort of in excess of US yields, that's kind of diminishing a bit at the moment.
Well, thank you so much, Nick.
Thanks.
And thank you once again for tuning in. For more from ABC Bullion 360, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us in our socials. Until next time, happy trading at abcbullion.com.au. Thank you.